Hey, you want to see something really scary?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm gonna scare the hell out of you.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Welcome to Fright Night.
Welcome back to Jumpscare. I'm your host, Shad, and this is
Betty.
And this week we are going to be covering 1976's The Omen.
For generations, the Thorns have been a family of tremendous wealth, position, and power. The perfect marriage of Ambassador Robert Thorne and his wife Catherine was fulfilled by the birth of their son, Damien. And then, when the child was 5 years old, something terrible happened. And then it happened again. Was it an accident? Was it murder? Was it a coincidence? Or was it an omen?
Look at me, Damien. It's all for you.
20th Century Fox presents a film of psychological suspense about an occurrence of earth-shaking importance. Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, The Omen.
I was at the hospital, Mr. Thorne, the night your son was born. I saw its mother. I saw its mother.
I have fears. I have fears.
What kind of fears?
Its mother, Mr. Thorne.
You saw my wife.
Its mother.
What is it you're trying to say?
His mother was a...
This is not a human child. Make no mistake.
There are those who will die for him. There are those who will kill for him. Who is he? What does he want? Where did he come from? And can he be stopped? Gregory Peck, Lee Remick, The Omen. If this is the truth, where does it end?
50 years.
Yeah, this movie's been around for a long time now, and I saw this way too young. I don't know about you, but I saw this when I was maybe 10 and was like, oh, okay, this is very, very scary.
Was this an HBO late night or?
Yeah, this was an HBO thing. Most of the early horror movies that I saw were all going to be on HBO. Thank you, HBO.
Yeah, when HBO used to be good. That would be the golden age of HBO.
Yeah.
Right. 50 years. I mean, obviously, yes, we said it was 76. And there have been, obviously, remakes.
We've got 2 sequels to this that were released theatrically. You know, Damien, Omen 2, and then The Final Conflict. And then they did I think it was a TV movie or Showtime movie that was Omen 4, The Awakening. And it was a new Antichrist that was a little girl.
Really?
Yeah. There's an Omen TV series.
That did not last.
That did not last. It was like in 2016. It was on A&E back when they were doing original programming a lot. And then I think there was another one about it in the 90s, maybe. I'm not sure. Or it may have just been called The Omen, but it had nothing to do with... I think it was just called The Omen, but it had nothing to do with the movies. It was one of those things that we've got the name, so we're going to make a show called The Omen just because we can.
The third one, which you mentioned, that came out in 81, so that's 45 years old.
Yep. That's with Sam Neill as the Antichrist.
Yes.
The same year he made Possession, he made that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Possession was 81 as well.
Everyone loves that movie, but I'm just like, I'm not about it. The Possession, not obviously. But Sam Neill, I think that even though it is not really talked about amongst horror fans. I feel like horror fans don't really go to like, oh, the Omen. It's more slasher or ghost when it comes to like favorites. Yeah. But this, in my opinion, is the best franchise. Like, each movie is good.
Yeah.
I feel it. I mean, Sam Neill's in the third one. Come on.
Yeah. There's a perfect trilogy on that one. They're all really good. Well, this one was written by David Seltzer. He also wrote another very popular horror movie in the 70s called The Prophecy. It's about a bear monster on a Indian reservation. And this was directed by Richard Donner. You'll know him from Superman, Lethal Weapon, Scrooged, Lady Hawk, The Goonies. He's done some things.
Yeah, some things.
He's had some popularity. And of course, the music for this, which everyone remembers, is done by Jerry Goldsmith. And this is his only Oscar that he got was for this movie. And there was a story I read where he said, I'm not going to bother to go. I get nominated and I never win. They were like, you should go this time. We got a good feeling about it. He was like, thank God they talked me into going, because he actually got it that time.
Yeah, because they knew whoever told them that was in the voting room. They're like, yeah, he gonna win.
And of course, the cast in this one is pretty legendary too. You got Gregory Peck. You'll know him from To Kill a Mockingbird, Roman Holiday. He's in both. Well, there's a third version now, but he's in both of the versions of Cape Fear for a while. Now there's a third one. He's playing the dad, Richard Thorne. You got Lee Remick. She's a few things. She's popular from musicals. She was in Damn Yankee. She was in Anatomy of a Murder in the 50s. And of course, our favorite in the movie is Mr. David Warner. You're going to know him from, well, everything. Everything in the 70s and 80s that was even remotely sci-fi or horror had David Warner in it, including being in 2 separate Star Trek movies, also in the Next Generation TV series. He was, of course, my favorite role of his is Jack the Ripper in Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell. He's in the Mouth of Madness, which, as I was saying in this, is hilarious because in this they go into in the Omen they go into the priest's room and it's covered in crosses all over the place, and then in the Mouth of Madness he goes into Sam Neill's cell in the asylum and it's also covered in crosses. So David Warner was in a lot of movies where rooms were filled with crosses. He's also been in Titanic, one of the biggest movies of all time. He has that to his name. And of course, Scream 2.
Okay, first of all, you named all of these motherfucking movies. Okay, you just off naming movies, whatever. You didn't name like the best one of them all, which is my favorite.
Is it Tron?
No, it's not fucking Tron. It's My Best Friend is a Vampire.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
My Best Friend is a Vampire, a legendary classic. Okay, you don't understand that I'm like obsessed with this movie.
Oh, I get it. I forgot about it because that's.
How dare you forget about him in this movie? Okay, he's wearing a trench coat. He's out like he gets pulled by vampire ladies in the end, like of that movie. Spoiler alert. I mean, it's David Warner. That's how I was introduced to David Warner, and every time I see him, I have the hots for him. Like, I don't care. Even in this fucking film where he has a Beatles haircut, it's the worst haircut ever, okay? Like, his hair is just, like, insane. I'm all about him while he's smoking in the... in the photography room with his chemicals. He could catch a flame at any second. I'm still like, he's hot.
Yeah, David Warner in this is how you know this is a 1970s movie. He's in the dark room smoking while he's, developing photos, and he reaches in with his hands into the photography chemicals, pulls out the photograph, hangs it up, and then continues smoking while he has the extremely flammable chemicals on his hands. The 70s were a different time. He's also drinking a beer in there at one point, too.
He sure is, okay?
Because nothing helps you develop pictures like a can of Coors.
After you have uncovered some crazy shit,
Devil shit.
you're gonna drink a beer. You're like, you know what? It's beer time. He's already living on the edge doing those other things in the freaking room. Like, why not?
Might as well have a beard relax when you catch on fire. I said he probably, just before he left, reached in the fixer, put it through his hair like it was hair gel, and just slicked his hair back and went on with his life. Also, that man looked the same from 1976 all the way up into, like, what, Scream 2 was like 1998. He still looked the same. He looked like he hadn't changed.
He still looked at that. It was the worst.
It was the Coors Light and the smoking.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The cigarettes and the beer and the photography chemicals kept those people looking the same.
That's why John Carpenter, he's like, I can't stop smoking now. That's what's keeping me alive. I gotta have my 5 packs a day, okay, and I gotta play some random like video game, whatever, basketball, whatever he's doing. That's what's keeping that man alive. The second, if he ever decided I'm no longer going to smoke, R.I.P.
That's it. He quit smoking, it's the end.
He's dead. So we have, of course, for those of you who have not seen this movie, just stop the podcast now. Go watch the movie. I don't know how you're going to do it.
It's on Amazon Prime. You have to rent it.
You're going to have to rent it. It's $4. It is worth the $4, okay? Or you can buy it for an extra $1.
Yeah, right now you can rent it for $4, buy it for $5. I think I just bought it because in 5 years I might want to watch it again.
Yeah, or bartering's really hot finally again. So maybe someone is, and so is DVDs. Things are coming back into fashion. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. The 76 version, not the one with Julia Stiles. I'm sorry.
Although they had to get that out because who's going to miss the opportunity to release an Omen movie on June 6th, 2006? And the first show was at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I went to see that because even though the movie's terrible, there's nothing like going to see The Omen on 666.
But you didn't know it was going to... Well, maybe you knew it was going to be terrible because this movie has Gregory Peck in it. This is... I mean, if you've never read To Kill a Mockingbird or you don't even know... Like, this is a man of performance. Like, this is like...
The sequel has Liev Schreiber and Julia Stiles.
Yeah, so, I mean, no offense...
It's a little downgrade there.
But damn, I wasn't gonna go see all of that. That's fucked up. But he ain't no Gregory Peck.
Yeah.
Okay. And Julia Stiles, love her. I love her in the Bourne movies. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, so the opening scene of this, the whole first, it's just filled with fucking tragedy, right? Gregory Peck is being told that his child is dead. The child is dead. He breathed for a moment and then he died. And this is being said over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's like, but just I'm going to casually mention here, we do have another baby in the hospital that just happened to look a little bit like it could be yours. And we're willing to let you have that baby if you want. Now,
I mean, you went straight to the thing. You didn't go. There was a lot of padding that happened between your baby dead and he's a new baby. It was the whole monologue of Gregory Peck saying like his wife is not going to make it through. His wife is going to be devastated. She's going to be forever changed. He's really worried about how this is going to affect his wife, the death of this child. And he's also heartbroken. I mean, hello. He just came into a situation where his son is dead. And it's a son. So that's like, whew, for a man, that's like the worst thing. The worst thing you could say, my son dead. Right? So it's just like, okay. So he's going through all of that, and then they're like, "Hey, maybe you could adopt." And Gregory Peck is like, "She wanted her own child."
Well, we don't have to tell her it's not hers.
Exactly.
Wink.
So segue to that.
The incredibly sus priest is just like, "We got a baby. It looks enough like you. It could be yours."
Now the baby is being held by a nun. Let me tell you, I would love to have been in the room when they casted this nun. Because did they have a nun pretend to hold a baby while she gave the biggest doe eyes? Her eyes are massive. Her eyes look like in a cartoon when there's like a dog begging for like a hot dog or something, or like some kind of meat. We get like a puppy dog eyes where they're like massive and droopy, and they're like the plea, Like, oh, please. She looks so fucking like, just please take this baby. Have compassion for the baby. Look at the baby. And you can't help but being like, okay, I guess. Taking the baby. The baby has a whole set. That baby, as they do in the movies, he looked like he's 3 months old. Like,
well, yeah, of course he's not a newborn. Because he's got a full head of hair and he's at least 10 pounds.
He got a mustache.
10, 12 pounds, yeah.
He's already has a mustache.
He's ready to start kindergarten. Or I gotta love when they take these babies, like, this is a newborn baby. That baby is 18 pounds. If that baby is newborn, Jesus Christ, that woman is dead.
Now, now there's a whole, after they get reunited, he brings the baby into the wife to introduce the son, to the wife, and it's a happy family. There's a lot of character development for the couple.
There's a little montage of them being happy with the baby.
Yes, being happy with themselves, having conversations about, where their life is going, the things that he wants in his career, just how much they love each other. You feel the love. There's a lot of, a lot of films these days, there's not a lot of character development. It's like, here you go. And then that's it. Just people take it for face value and then everyone's moving on. It's a lot of devoid of a lot of emotion, I feel. But this definitely later on plays into the decisions that he makes, unfortunately, which are all kind of blinded by the love that he has for this woman, right? Well, obviously, look what he did right off the get-go. Yeah. So even though I did state that I felt like it was a little selfish of him to be like, it was a 50-50. He was doing it for her, but he was also doing it for him because he couldn't lose his wife.
And he didn't want to have to deal with her being sad for years and years.
Yeah. Then, after all of that,
it's time for Damien's 5th birthday.
And boom, here's David Warner in the Beatles hair. Now, I haven't seen the movie in a really long time. And, we didn't rent the movie. It wasn't like we had the DVD in front of us that has David Warner's name. Like, I forgot that David Warner was in the movie. So when I saw him, I was like, oh, David Warner! Like a nerd. With his little,
He's one of those guys like Ron Perlman. Even when he's in a bad movie, he elevates it up a notch. He turns a C movie into a B, because he gave 110%, no matter how shitty the movie might have been or how weird the premise was. He was in it to win it. He gave it all. And you believed whatever it was he was doing. You're like, okay, sure. He's the alien computer program or whatever it is. You just went with it,
Now, I have a lot of questions.
Yes, this is a very, very rich white people's birthday for this baby, too. This little kid.
He is an ambassador, so yeah.
They got the little old-timey wooden roller coaster for him to ride around on.
They're also living in the middle of nowhere with plenty of acres. It's a freaking, like, a cobblestoned castle. I mean, he has, even if it's not money, because usually they just give you, like, the title and then they, like, hook you up with the house, right? You're not technically buying the house or whatever. Whatever the case may be, he's living the lap of luxury, right? So, yes, they bought in, like, a miniature version of a carnival for children.
Yeah.
Like, down to, like, a roller coaster that one child is in the cart going in it. It's just very...
That's what I said, the little miniature wooden roller coaster. It's amazing. Who are all these kids? Damien has all these friends, but we never really see them again.
We never see them again because they were not his friends. They were all the other ambassadors / politicos, their children.
Political people, kids, yeah.
Yeah, they were their kids. And then I'm sure some of them may have been rented. I don't know.
Rent a child.
Yeah, because there was a lot of photography going on. So it was just like, because David Warner, who invited David Warner? He wasn't a family of the friend. He was press. So it's like, why was the press invited? Oh, because we have to show the ambassadors, happy family, happy people, happy life, because come on.
And this is, of course, where you get the famous scene where the current nanny, who seems like she's perfectly nice and normal.
That's where my questions lie. Nanny. We have seen her before, previous to this party. She's taking care of Damon. There's no issues. She looks nice. Then she sees a Rottweiler in the distance.
That
Their
was
eyes lock.
the devil's dog.
Now, did the devil's dog have questions? Did she become possessed by the devil's dog? Did the demon dog, like, send her a message telepathically? You must sacrifice yourself for him. Woof! Like, what?
That's what it was. He was the devil dog, and he put in there, like, go kill yourself. And she did.
Yes. Because she was simple-minded, right? Because she was a young, impressionable woman. This is where where this part of the movie does not make any fucking sense for me. Because I get Miss Baylock. Like, she had that 666 somewhere in her. She was the servant of the devil. So she already had...
Well, the first nanny, I don't think, was like the servant of the devil. That's why they had to get rid of her.
Well, yes.
She was just normal.
Yeah, she was normal. But I'm saying, you don't go from like, oh, let's have cake to, oh, I'm putting a noose over my head and throwing myself off a building. So exactly, did the dog do it? And
yes.
What kind of powers did the dog have? And how come he wasn't able to like do other fuckeries to anyone else that was in there? Meaning like the dad or the mom or the cook or the, you know what I mean? It's like...
Well, we don't know what happened at one point. When Gregory Peck comes back to the house, he's like, hey, where's the housekeeper and the groundskeeper that live here? Like, oh, they left. They just packed up and ran. Maybe the dog did something to them too. They called him in there and said, look into the dog's eyes. They looked into the dog's eyes and were like, yep, we're going to go.
Yeah, well, this fucking dog, man, let me tell you. Can we tell the dog that we would like to win the lottery and he goes and Fingalis somebody so we can win?
Hopefully.
This is what we need.
And she does the famous thing where she jumps off the roof with the noose around her neck screaming, it's all for you, Damien.
Yeah, but the part that's funny to me is like, hey, Damien, I'm over here. Hey, Damien. Like, she's calling out to him. Like, this is just a regular, like, I'm just trying to, like, say, like, hi, what's up going on? Like that. And then, once she has his attention, she's like, yeah. And then throws the line. And then, oh, no, the party is over.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of these kids are going to be like, the next time they're like, hey, Timmy, they invited you to a birthday party. Yeah, I'm going to stay home. Because the last one I went to, this crazy chick threw herself off the roof. So I'm just going to stay home on this one and just watch TV because it's going to be a lot safer. I can't imagine that's going to be... All those kids are traumatized forever from that.
Now, let's discuss Miss Baylock, okay? Because Miss Baylock shows up looking like Watson, like, or fucking Sherlock Holmes. She got one of them, like, those kind of, jackets... cloak, trench coat, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's like a cape coat. What the hell? She just shows up out of nowhere. They don't know where she came from. She's barking orders.
She's just says, like, the agency sent me. It's fine. This lady, by the way, is played by an actress named Billy Whitlaw, and she was in the Dark Shadows soap opera about the vampires in the 60s and early 70s. Mm-hmm. She was in like something like 250 episodes of that, which is probably like 1 month's episodes or 6 months episodes, because that thing was on every day.
Now, before he was the vampire or after?
It was after he was the vampire.
Okay.
Because you remember the first season of that show did not have vampires in it.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It was the second season. It was like episode 84 when they introduced vampires.
Okay.
And that they brought her in. She's the one, there's a modern version of her too in the new, on all the remakes. She's the one that's trying to cure him of the vampirism. She was the doctor. And she was also the voice of the character Agra in The Dark Crystal. The one that was like yelling at the Skeksis and all that, you know.
Now, no offense to this woman, but she looked mad evil. So.
Oh, yeah. She's immediately like, you see her and you're like, oh, she's a servant of the devil. There's no way.
Yeah.
She's the woman that when you walk into the classroom and you see her as the teacher, if it's a college class, you turn around and drop it immediately because you're not getting an A in that class.
This is the thing that pisses me off in the movie is the just, okay, attitude from the people, because the rich people, they could not be bothered. Like, yeah.
And they're rich, so they're used to people just showing up and doing things for them.
So, yeah, so they're like, oh, you're going to take a workload off my fucking shoulders? Not the man, because the man barely there. He traveling all around, all he's barely home. It's the woman that has to bear the burden, which later on, like when she finds out she's pregnant, she's like, I want an abortion. I'm like, oh shit. She could, She barely taking care of the first child, and she's like, I can't handle this. This is just too much for me. I can't have this child, because there was no real reason besides it was too overwhelming for her of why she didn't want the current kid, like the kid in her body.
Yeah.
Obviously she doesn't know that Damien is not. She has an inkling later on for no reason, because
she does tell one of the doctors, like, I think he might be evil. Oh, you think?
Yeah, that's the other hole for me in the movie, is you go from, you see she's a loving mother. They try to go to that wedding where he freaks the fuck out and punches her. Mm-hmm. She's fine. And she tells the husband, you know what? He was just having a bad day. Okay, like a mother does, makes excuses, so, you know, whatever. And then from that point on, it was like back to like normal. It's when once Miss Baylock gets her little grimy hands on him and is always spending time, his demeanor changes, and you no longer see the mom and the son together as mom and son, cuddling and loving, because Miss Baylock is in between them, and she's, you know, we can't have the son of the devil, the Antichrist, have love like in his life. That's not, he needs followers. Like, he doesn't need love.
Here's another question I have, and when we were watching it again, they go to the zoo, and the giraffes are scared of Damien. They run away. Okay, but then it's a drive-through zoo, and those things exist. There's one near us that you drive through and look at all this. But what kind of a drive-through zoo puts like 50 baboons out?
I feel like it was like 200. It was a lot of ass baboons. It was like all the baboons that existed at that time was at this fucking filming.
And baboons are like known to be the most vicious, bloodthirsty of all the apes. Like
I would be too if my ass was out for everybody to see.
Yeah. Why would that be there? Why would that be a thing? Like, I don't think I'd want to have one in there, much less 50 or 60 of them. And then they're like, oh, they're shocked when those baboons attack the car? I'm surprised they haven't done it more often. Those things routinely attack and kill people out in the jungle. They're known for that. So, like, what the hell? Why would you keep that many?
Another rich person thing. I just had no idea. And then just went about her life.
Who would have thought that a group of baboons would be dangerous? Oh.
Yeah. And, you know, the question which I did ask you was, did he know he was evil? Did Damien know that he was evil? There was something not right? Because I felt like he did. Because in the scene where he kills the mom, which he does kill the mom. I'm sorry. Let me come back. Where he tries to kill the mom, but he does kill his sibling. That was the whole thing, right? Because the priest that the Brennan priest Brennan, he comes, he gives like, oh, your son is evil, and very aggressively like busts through the door.
Yeah, I said at the time, you know, if you're gonna try and convince someone of something like that, you have to come at it a little less aggressive than that. You can't just run up and throw yourself across the desk and start screaming, your son is the devil, at them like that. That doesn't work out.
No, it sure doesn't.
No one's going to
Gregory thought he was coming in for a donation, and he's coming in spewing some crazy shit. Yeah, I don't know. The son has no remorse, and he doesn't even try to help the mom. He just staring at her while she just falls to her impending death. You know, or the death of, well, obviously, you know, I forgot that she didn't die at that moment, because I have a feeling, and I may be wrong, that in the remake, Julia Stiles,
she survives and she dies later. She gets driven crazy.
Oh, okay.
Now the thing we mentioned too is the reason David Warner starts getting interested in this is because he starts noticing when he takes pictures of people that are around Damien, there's weird things like, oh, hey, does that look like a noose around the nanny's neck? Does that look like something's about to spear the priest? Who later on, just a giant lightning rod falls off the top of the church and stabs him through the body to the ground?
And how God has forsaken him because he murdered the actual son, and had his hand in dealing and getting the devil, the Antichrist where he's at.
I always assumed they said that when they do the examination of him that he was riddled with cancer. And I always assumed when he realized he was going to die and that like, oh hey, I did this and I'm still gonna die. I should repent, and that's when he's trying to repent and trying to go back on it and be like, you need to get rid of this kid because he's the devil. I fucked up. I thought the devil was going to take care of me, because as it turns out, everyone that was involved in that ends up either dead or fucked up in some way. Mm-hmm. Because what a shock! The devil doesn't always keep his promises.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and this reminded me of, this is obviously where they took some inspiration for the Final Destination movies. Because a lot of people in this movie die in very bizarre things that they're like, it was just a freak accident. Mm-hmm. That thing fell off the church and speared him while he was standing there. It could have happened to anyone.
That first one was a suicide. She just had some kind of problems.
And then ultimately, David Warner himself, he's just standing on the street when there's an accident where a truck backs up, hits a brick, and the big shard of glass flies off the back of it and just cuts his head completely off.
Great decapitation. The kills in this movie, even though they're very few, they were very effective and very good.
Yeah, the effect on it was great. I mean, obviously it's a mannequin head when it gets cut off, but it's still so seamless the way it gets done. They cut from him to the head flying off is amazing.
Yeah.
And then they cut to the scene with it was actually David Warner, his head on the ground, kind of looking at his reflection in the glass. And it's like, that's just amazing. This is one of those horror movies where there's only like 3 people that die in the whole thing, but it still manages to be creepy and intense. I don't know about you, but again, like I said, I saw this and it was late night at HBO. So you're watching this when you're like 10 years old and it's 11 o'clock at night when you started, and this is super creepy by the time you're getting to all these deaths. You're like on the edge of the couch just watching.
Hell yeah.
You're hearing noises outside and you're like jumping. It's great.
Is that a dog? Is that a demon dog?
All you need is a hot dog to howl and be like, yep, nope, turn the TV off, I'm done.
Now it's revealed after, it's kind of like, not an investigative thriller, but there's mystery to
they
this.
start looking into it because David Warner's like, look, something's going on here, we need to find out what's going on.
David Warner, who knew that he was like, oh, I'm a photographer, but I'm also fucking PI in training. Like, if it wasn't for him, none of this would have been revealed.
Yeah.
It's all because of David Warner that's gone and done all this research and found all this information. And it just leads up to find the reveal that Gregory Peck's son was murdered. He had his little head bashed in, which is really fucked up.
I feel like there was another way he's a newborn baby. They could have just put a pillow over him for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I think they just needed to let you know how vicious they were, and you needed to see that, like, he was murdered.
Yeah.
Because if there was just a baby skeleton in there, you could have been like, well, he just died.
Yeah.
They just took advantage of that. When you see like there's a hole in his head, you're like, no, they bashed his head in.
Yeah.
And then you see that the mom was, which is what the priest said earlier, his mother was a jackal. And then the coffin where the mother is supposed to be is an actual jackal skeleton.
Yeah, which I did question you about that. And
First of all, where do you find the jackal just to make this happen?
Well, the devil... See, this is the thing. The devil inseminated this jackal. Like, did he shoot up semen out from the ground from hell going into the jackals like
did
the
he manifest on Earth in someone? What was happening?
Yeah, did that someone fuck the jackal?
This is one of those things, just, you don't question it. You don't want to know.
No, you don't, because it don't make sense now. But wait a second. Hold on. I have a fucking theory now that we're talking about this. Isn't it that, like in the Witch, that he's like a ram or a goat? So the devil could have taken goat form.
Jackal form, you mean?
No, the goat. No. He got goat form. He fucked the jackal. The goat fucked the jackal.
Why would he just turn to like a male jackal? Why would it be a goat?
Because that's like his spirit animal. Like that's who he is. He's like the fucking. He's like that's his thing. He's the goat. He is the greatest of all time.
Jesus.
He is the goat. Why would he go into a jackal? I don't damn know. What is it? Have you ever seen a jackal? Like, what is that? I don't know. Are they related to hyenas?
Yeah, to be fair, I don't know if I could point a jackal out to you real easily, but. So I just assumed there was either some kind of fucking going on with the devil and the jackal, or he took a jackal form or something. I don't know. It's one of those things you best not, just don't ask, because the more they tell you about it, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, there's a dead baby. And he was murdered. And that's sad. And really terrible. Because it's just like, they did all of this. Now, wasn't there a new Omen or a new something dealing with this world that came out maybe like a year or two? I'm probably thinking of another movie. It's not The Exorcist. But, I would like to see, if they were to like make another one of these, right? I would like to see the other side of what all the ongoings of the Satanists, of how they fucking, because that's a lot of positioning. You have priests that are in on it. You have people that are in the politics in on it. There's a lot of people.
Well, they kind of made fun of this in that Good Omens book with the priest that, you know, giving the baby to someone to be raised and all this kind of stuff that's going to be the Antichrist. And the same thing with the dog. They said that that he would summon his familiar, and it would be this dog, and it would be this vicious thing, but the kid was nice, and all he wanted was a little fluffy puppy, so it came as a little fluffy puppy, even though it was like the hound of hell. But it's just a tiny, cute little dog, because that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
So they made fun of that in Good Omens. Yeah, I didn't really. I think I saw the first episode of that Damien TV show that they did on A&E, and it was okay, but it was not. It didn't grab me right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we're going to ignore everything that happened in the other movies.
Yeah.
And we're just going to pick it up like this is the first one. He's in college and he's learning that he's the Antichrist. Okay, but obviously it didn't get renewed for anything, so it didn't go very far.
I don't even think it finished. I think there's like 7 episodes. I may be wrong, but I don't feel like it was a full season.
They did a full season of it because A&E and all that stuff back at the time, they committed to full seasons.
Okay.
Because they only did 8 to 10 episodes. So they would do one. If it didn't do well, they didn't renew it.
Yeah. Now, you had mentioned how a lot of people didn't want to work on this.
Yes, because back at the time, making a movie about the devil was still kind of a taboo thing. Like, people didn't want to work on it. They were afraid. Like, they were like, I don't know if I want to be involved in writing a movie about the devil. And then there's the whole thing about the curse that happened with this movie. There's a whole, documentary about the curse that happened of the Omen. And to be fair, some strange things did happen. Gregory Peck, his plane was hit by lightning on the way to England, and then one of the producers on the plane, his plane was also on the movie. Rather, his plane was also hit by lightning, and Gregory Peck's hotel was hit by lightning.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. The guy who was the trainer for the baboons, he died after that, killed by a tiger that he was training.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Supposedly there was now not this one, I couldn't confirm if this was true or not, that one of the special effects coordinators, the John Richardson, he and his assistant were in a car accident supposedly on Friday the 13th, and he was decapitated in a manner similar to the character that he, to David Warner, and he had designed that effect. I can't confirm that. There was a lot of things about that seemed a little sus, so I couldn't confirm that one. But, there was
you couldn't pull a David Warner and find out the info?
No. There was a stuntman that was hurt in a fall. It was supposed to be cushioned, but he said he felt like someone pushed him over the padding.
Hell no.
So, there was a lot of just strange things that happened with it, and then people were just creeped out working on it. I'm sure, they probably had that damn Omen music playing in the background to creep people out, and I know they didn't, but,
Well, there's a lot of movies that have curses to them. There are a lot of messed up things. I'm sure probably some weird things happened.
Back in the 70s, they were a lot more frightened of this kind of stuff because, The Exorcist, people were terrified of that shit.
Yeah, that fucking movie is terrifying, and I told you, and I'm not the only one. And I was like, I wonder if the people that didn't want to work on whatever, were they Catholic? Because Catholics are very superstitious. And also, they be believing in all that and all that stuff. They're like, because, they're into the saints and all that. And they're like, nah. I'm not messing with that. So that is number one thing we're not doing. And The Exorcist, I myself, and I know other people that I have known, have said the same thing, where they were like, they didn't want to watch the movie because they thought they were going to be possessed, which is a crazy thought. But it's like you're letting the devil into your life. And it's really... and then I feel like religion was way more... People were way more religious back then than they are now. So, you know, there's a lot of definitely religious beliefs associated to both of those.
The evil trinity here. You had like Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, and then The Omen.
The devil was a busy.
Yeah, there was a lot of things going on. And those movies really creeped people out. Because, you know, all of them, two of them are dealing with, you know, kids of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one's a kid taken over by a demon. So all this and all the, you know, the Catholic imagery that's in that. And
even though
people were definitely way more freaked out than they are now about this kind of stuff.
I want to say, though, that in Rosemary's Baby, because, you know, I always got to throw how I don't appreciate how witches are viewed. Witches, real witches, would not have been associated with the devil because witches don't believe in the devil. Because witchery, sorry, that whole religion predates Christianity. So
that doesn't mean they can't throw in with the devil.
No.
He made an attractive offer.
No. First of all, none of those people were attractive. They were all old.
I said an attractive offer, not attractive people.
No, I understand, but what's the attractive offer?
He's offering them free health care. They need that.
I think the Medicare was actually still probably a very good system
sucked back then too. So I'm sure that, you know, the devil's health plan is probably a lot better than anything the government has.
Anyways. So we will not be covering Rosemary's Baby in this.
He has his father's eyes. David's eyes are blue. I always love that old man just screams out, Satan is his father. Oh, well, all right then.
Yeah, what the fuck? So, yes, unfortunately, those... I mean, I feel like... I don't know about the guy getting his hit, John Richardson. I hope that didn't happen. That's really fucked up.
There was another one that they said that was unconfirmed, too, that supposedly Gregory Peck was going to rent a plane to go back because he was like, no, after that commercial flight got struck by lightning twice, I'm not into that. I'm going to take my own. And that the people that... He canceled that at the last minute, and the next people that took the plane died. But this is one of those things that's like, this is not confirmed. This is just kind of... I need to watch that documentary about that, but...
Yeah, because I'm sure it's just like, people just want to add shit to add shit.
Just one thing I read said it was true, one thing I read said it wasn't, and I didn't have a lot of time to keep digging and find out. So some of those weren't confirmed, but it's still a creepy story.
Yeah.
Just the plane being hit by lightning multiple times in his hotel is like, yeah, that's a little weird. I feel like that might be, you know, at the time I could see where you'd be like, they may be trying to tell me something here.
Yeah, but you see, Gregory Peck, that's why he elevates the movie, because that motherfucker was a professional. He's like, look, even the gods are like, nah, we don't want you to do this job. And he's like, I'm committed and I'm doing my job.
So I read too that he signed on for a substantial pay cut for him, which was he got $250,000 up front to be in the movie.
Wow, that's so terrible. I don't know how he lived off $250,000 in 1976. That meant that you were a fucking billionaire.
Yeah,
compared to today's standards.
That was a lot of money in 1976.
That was a lot of money.
He signed on to get 10% of the profits. And he ended up getting $6 million on the back end.
Holy crap.
So that's why when the sequel came along, apparently they had offered it originally to William Holden. And he said, nah, I don't want to be in no movie about the devil. And then Gregory Peck told him, I made $6 million off this movie. And he was like, I will definitely be in that sequel.
Damn.
Because that's when people started signing on going, it made a lot of ass money. Yeah, I'll take a little less money up front for some of that back end money.
Yeah.
Because if $250,000 was a shitload of money, think what $6 million was in 1976.
Forget about it. That was like Elon Musk status.
Yeah, he was not. That was it. He could just retire and do whatever the hell he wanted to for the rest of his life. He was done. Because he could have bought a mansion for what, $100,000.
Now, do you think that Gregory Peck knew George C. Scott and did they drink brandy together? Because
and talk about ghost movies.
Yeah, because both of them, in my mind, when I think, I'm like, oh, that's the same person. It's not the same person, obviously. They're two different people. They don't look alike. But there's something about them that just, they remind me of one another.
It's that old Hollywood kind of guy that, you know, the
regular
guy, hard drinking,
yeah,
you know, just whiskey. You know, he's the guy that's drinking beer in his car on the way home that they had to pass laws to stop because he was like, what, I gotta wait till I get home?
I think he was drinking an old fashioned.
Yeah,
he real fancy. He had one of those like they have those fucking like silver tray things to hold the fucking glass in there. Yeah. Like there was a little
before
mini bar.
Cars had the cup holders. He had that thing he used to put on the side of the, you know, on the door that clipped down into the window. He had that, but it was like a tall glass in it with ice and then old fashioned.
He probably did.
Yeah. Now, rating this one, this is obviously a 4.9.
Yeah, it's 4.9.
This is one of those classic movies.
I feel like you don't rate it because it's a given.
It's a classic. This is one everyone should see because, you know, there's nothing. Sometimes you watch some of the older movies and you're like, oh, that was a little bit racist or a little bit this. There's a little bit of sexism in this one with Gregory Peck, but there's no racism in this.
Yeah.
There's no like craziness where you're like, oh, that's inappropriate or whatever. They're pretty regular. They're rich. They're a little snooty, but they're not. There's nothing crazy that you're like, oh my God, this was 50 years ago.
I wouldn't say they were snooty. They were very kind to everyone that worked for them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say they ever exuded any like, you know, bad manners that sense. They were just normal peeps.
Yeah, they were at that point that they were well off enough they could live like they wanted, but they weren't so well off that they weren't human anymore.
Exactly.
They were still well off enough that they were like, I remember what it was like to work a job, so I'm not going to get a cane and beat this guy because he didn't sweep the lawn properly.
And the sexism, I did not feel. There was no point in the movie for me that was like, oh no, that's terrible. He's such a fantastic actor, or he was such a fantastic actor, that when he's crying over his fucking, spoiler alert, over his wife, like, dying, I was crying. Like, because you just feel the love at the beginning of the movie that they have for one another and the life that they were building. And he's fucking devastated. Also, the guilt that he had. He did, you know, he brought this child into their life to bring them joy, to make them a family, you know, and that's something that his wife really wanted, was a child. And he did all of this, and it ended up with a child that's not his, a freaking child that he found out got murdered, a freaking jackal child, and his wife dead. Like, how fucked up is that? Like, it's real, to the point where he just loses his mind in the end, because there was no rational thinking of him going in there in the dead of night to check to see if this kid had the freaking 666. But it's like, also, he had love in his heart for his kid, because this has been his kid for 5 years. We saw the montage of the family time, which adds more to the, you know, making you understand that he had a hard time wanting to kill this kid. He didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Until the moment that he sees that 666, until even that moment, he's like, no, this is a little boy. I'm not a murderer. Like, I'm not going to murder a child. And when he sees that, he's like, oh, fuck, this is not my kid. This is the fucking son of the devil. Like, I got to do this. And he just loses it. Like, and I mean lose it because there was no rational thinking of like, okay, I'm a plan for this. It was like a man of action. He was like, well, to be fair, I gotta get this shit done right now.
Miss Baylock did jump on his back and start strangling him and, you know, trying to kill him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You come in, you have your fucking whiskey, okay? You go to sleep. You wake up the next day. Hey, Miss Baylock, I'm back from my thing. Oh, the wife dead. That's sad. I want to spend some time with my son. I've been away for a little while. I'm going to take him to the zoo. We don't need you today. Bye. And then you go and you take the kid and then you kill him. Like, you know what I mean? Just maybe that was... But obviously that's not going to happen in the movie because we wouldn't have a movie, right?
Yeah.
We have to have...
Interestingly enough, Gregory Peck's grandson is now the one who plays Spock in the Strange New World TV series.
What?
Yeah, that's his grandson.
I did not know that's his grandson.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Yeah, that's Gregory Peck's grandson, Ethan Peck.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But how long were you holding on to that? Because you did not tell me. That didn't even dawn on me. That's crazy.
Yeah. He was born in 86, so he's 40 this year.
Wow.
But yeah. So yeah, I read an interview where he said, I think Gregory Peck died when he was like 13 or 14.
It was like 2003 when he died. So, yeah.
And he said he was like 4. He'd have been like 14. Well, I guess not even like 17 then. But it still said, he didn't know him real well, but he was, around him a lot growing up and that. But, I just thought that was interesting that, families keeping on acting.
That is very interesting. Well, definitely check out The Omen and The Omen 2 and The Omen 3 because the story continues.
I've not seen The Omen 4. I've never watched that one.
Oh, shuckles. Have I seen that one? I want to say, damn it, because I want to say no, or maybe I did, but I subconsciously erased it from my memory. Do you know what it's about?
It's the female child Antichrist.
No, have not seen that. Nope.
Little girl Antichrist.
That's garbage. That's not going to be a thing.
But, yeah.
So the first 3 are good. And then there's another one that I just learned of right now that you may have mentioned. I can't say
it's good or bad. I haven't seen it, so probably not good, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, can't throw out opinions of something we haven't seen. But okay, well, thank you so much for joining us in another episode celebrating the 50th anniversary of The Omen. Stay tuned to the horror.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.